Don Carpenter on News Talk 1270 KIML.
News Talk 1270 KIML. Don Carpenter Show. Welcome back to the program. 6:32. Chris Brentel is joining us. So, Chris, do you use social media at all?
I do have a Facebook page. I'm never on it, so not really. I really don't. I don't tweet. I don't do any of that.
So, but it's for your own personal use. You don't use it professionally. See, I am of the opinion that professionally, social media can get, especially what we do, people in our line of business, or athletes, in nothing but trouble. Nothing but trouble. And I understand social media is supposed to be a big part of what we do these days. I mean, as radio hosts, we hear these consultant types always saying, go off Facebook and Twitter. And, I know a guy who every topic that he's going to do the entire day, he posts on his Facebook page. And then it just turns into nothing but arguments. It adds nothing to his show. But some consultant somewhere told him he needed to do that, so that's what he's doing. Well, I have two stories this morning about how sports stars and sports franchises can get in trouble with social media. Now, first off, we'll start off with Brandon Marshall. Brandon Marshall, he's an outspoken guy. I mean, he's called out his own quarterback. I mean, he doesn't back down from anybody. Well, okay. Apparently some Twitter troll, and that's the proper word to use for this guy. This guy was just trying to get a response out of Brandon Marshall. Started saying things about Brandon Marshall's, I think his grandmother, his mother or his grandmother.
Uh-oh.
So Brandon Marshall said, I'll fight you. I'll give you $5,000 to get in a boxing ring with me. And then the negotiations started from there. So
perfect response.
First off, he says, I'll give you $5,000 to fight me in a boxing ring. And if I lose, I'll give you another $10,000. If you lose, you have to spend 100 hours doing community service.
You know something? I have to applaud him for the response because he didn't come out and say, "Oh, I'll do this to you or that to you." He's like, "You know what? I'll fight you." Yeah. and we can put the money to a good cause too. I want to fight you.
And I will say, so the guy actually said, "Well, I'll do it for 25 if we fight in Detroit." So of course Marshall, being a rich athlete, accepted. This is, if he doesn't go through with it, he's going to look bad. If he does go through with it, he's going to look bad. At least
he's going to look bad either way.
Now, I don't blame him a bit now. I do not blame him a bit because, I don't use social media in my show. When I first started, I gave out my Facebook and my Twitter, and it didn't really catch on. So I just keep it all. That's all my personal stuff. My Facebook page is, for pictures of my kid and stuff like that. Twitter page is just to, talk back and forth with people I know. I use it. I follow all the big news places so I can, catch breaking news. It's good for that kind of stuff. Even little old me here in Gillette, Wyoming, doing an AM radio station gig. Even at this low level of media, I've gotten people trying to get me in trouble, trying to get me fired, just because they disagree with something I said. So, for people like us and for professional athletes, social media is nothing but trouble, And the New England Patriots proved that. This is my second story. The New England Patriots proved that last night. Apparently, they wanted to be the first NFL franchise to have 1 million followers on Facebook, on Twitter, which I'm actually surprised that no team had 1 million followers. But
that is surprising.
Yeah. So what they did was they had a little, program running or a script of some sort that automatically everybody that followed him would send out a message publicly so everybody could see it, thanking that person for following with the picture of a Patriots jersey with that person's Twitter handle on the back of the jersey. Well, it certainly backfired on him.
To say the least.
Yeah, so I can't say exactly what this says, but this Twitter handle was "I hate N-words." Thanks for helping us become the first NFL team with 1 million followers. Hashtag 1 million Patriots. And it just kept going on, and that was the worst one. There were other ones that were just funny names.
Wow.
I mean, I know it's Boston. I know the reputation they have, but I don't think that's the kind of publicity that they want.
No, they didn't think that one through.
No. Well, and I'm not quite sure. I'm sure it was probably done by some intern or just out of college, somebody with a degree in social media or something like that, where
social media studies,
where all they do is monitor the Twitter and Facebook accounts of the team. I mean, it's probably a low-level employee that does this. I'm sure Robert Kraft's not sitting there, "Oh, I hate him too. I'll click on that." So that's not how these big companies do this. I mean, most of these big stars, they have somebody that's running the Twitter account for them. So somebody just set it up on auto, and you can't do that because the internet is a wasteland of vile people.
Basically, the internet's a bunch of degenerates.
Yeah.
For the most part.
And what it is, they can get away with it because it's all anonymous. I mean, I went and looked at this Twitter account. This guy started this Twitter account just to do this.
Yeah, that's all. There's probably there's probably no pictures or anything.
No. I mean, you've seen Twitter, so you know it has a picture of an egg for a blank account. If you don't upload your picture, it has a picture of an egg, and that's what it was. It had 2 tweets. Had one that was just a bunch of letters, and then it had one sending a message to the Patriots, and retweeted the thank you message from the Patriots. Now, obviously, that account's probably suspended by now. They're pretty good about that kind of stuff. But the thing is, it takes 5 minutes to make a new account, and
no telling how long to get it down again if it's something like that. I mean,
and it's the Wild West. I mean, so the bottom line is, if you're out there and you run a business, don't let some kind of script or program run your social media accounts.
Don't do that. And also, if you don't argue with Brandon Marshall and call his grandma names.
That's
the 2 things we learned.
Otherwise, you end up getting in a fight. I don't know. Would you fight Brandon Marshall for $25,000?
Yes.
In a boxing match, I would too.
Yes, I'd fight him in a street fight for $25,000.
Yeah. Well, okay. If I knew I weren't going to get arrested, I might consider it. He's not that big of a guy. I mean, he's about 6'3".
Yeah, what is 220 or something like that?
Yeah,
6'3", 220.
So I mean,
he might not be 220, honestly.
He probably doesn't have any weight on me.
He's got good reach.
He's got good reach, but I just go for the legs right off the bat.
Oh, I just throw sand in his eye.
Oh, okay. If we can fight, dirty, then I got it.
Sand in his eye, then run.
Yeah,
Does that count?
Yeah,
Did I get my 25?
Sand in his eye, get behind him, put him in a choke, and it's over. and $25,000. But if it was a boxing match, though, I'd definitely do it for $25,000. I'd take a dive.
That's the thing. Is who cares? I get beat up a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean,
anybody short of a professional boxer, I'd box for $25,000.
Oh, I love those conversations with people about how these people always think, "Oh, I could beat this boxer, or this MMA fighter." They are trained fighters. No, I cannot.
I know. I'm not going to even pretend that I'm tough. But I'd take a dive. I mean,
I would.
The only thing is, I mean, it would have to be high 6 figures, low 7 figures for me to step in the ring with a boxer.
Oh, Yeah, that's a different. That's going to take more money because that's a whole different thing.
Because you're going to take one punch and it's going to hurt and maybe break your jaw or something.
You're probably going to go to the hospital.
Yeah, so we're talking, $1 million. I'd let Tyson unload on me one punch for $1 million. I mean, he's been retired for 10 years now. He's probably he's not all he used to be. So $1 million. Tyson could take a shot at me.
It seems like he might still have it. I was watching The Hangover the other night. He got Galifianakis pretty good there.
And I'd go straight down.
Yeah.
And while they're counting that's, the 1, 2, while they're counting me out, 100,000, 200,000, 300, I'd just be counting the money.
I'd be down there doing the Manziel, half knocked out.
Thanks, Mike. Okay, so what do we have going on in sports?
Well, we've got some pronghorn basketball. Both teams won, the men and women, and avalanche hockey.
Okay, sounds good. Remember, monitor your Twitter accounts. We'll be right back. News Talk 1270 KIML.
The best local and national news and analysis. The Don Carpenter Show on News Talk 1270 KIML.